Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
We invite everybody to come check out our website, evolutionaryenergyarts.com.
Indeed, lots of good stuff on there.
Yes, and more to come. And you can learn more about us and all the things we do. We welcome everybody to join us over at Patreon. Again, you can join the Patreon family for as little as $1 a month. There are different tiers with different benefits to each tier, including sessions on a monthly basis at some tiers with Cindy and I. I wanted to cover something that, to me, and I was thinking of this, I've moved 41 times in my life. That's a lot. And one of the first things I always do is what? I find out what the directions are. And I make sure that I don't put the bed with the head in the north. That's the very first thing I do. It really is, in the bedroom. How are we going to situate the bedroom? Let me grab a compass. That's the first thing I do. Usually a compass app on my phone. And I shoot for either east or south. Depending on the layout of the room and what feels like it's going to make the most sense. Luckily with us in this particular house, it's facing the southeast, which I think is just about ideal. But never sleep with your head facing north. Now, if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's exactly the opposite. And this all has to do with the Taiji pole in our body. Again, it has to do with the electromagnetic fields of the earth and bringing ourselves into balance with the earth and the natural energy flow.
Harmony, 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 harmony.
Yeah, and this is something that many people might not realize. And maybe, I would love to hear from you guys when you go and check now and see what direction is your head facing. So again, I mean the head is either in the east or the south with the feet pointing away from that particular direction. Or if you had to, you can go to head in the west, but stay away from head in the north. And again, if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's exactly the opposite. As you see this here, never sleep with your head facing north. And it's interesting to see that whether we're talking Feng Shui, Chinese system, or whether we're talking, Hindu Vedic yoga tradition, they are in agreement with this. And part of it is also that the soul upon death is pulled to the north, according to both traditions, which is really interesting. You can see here, there's different benefits in different directions. Like right here, this wheel is showing if your head's to the south, prosperity. Southwest, power. Southeast, this is saying disease. Destiny, and then you see sinful death, enmity, longevity. And again, I'm not saying I'm in total agreement with this. The thing I would say, though, is that the head to the north, if you're in the northern hemisphere, is the worst sleep direction. It's taken in some traditions, like Taoist tradition, that you're setting yourselves up to be disrupted by evil spirits and mischievous spirits. And you put yourself in a position where they can tinker and toy with you more. And, again, if you have your head in the east with your toes pointing to the west, it's generally thought to be a very good sleep direction. When your head is in the south, your toes pointing to the north, it's the deepest, most restorative sleep. And also, you may have more visions there. In the west, it's acceptable. It's not ideal. Of the four principal directions, it would be number 3. So if you had no choice, it's certainly better than the north. When you look to this Feng Shui bedroom layout, north provides deep physical sleep, south provides a more spiritual dream. In the east, this will help you wake up early in the morning. To the west, helps the baby get sleep at night. Very interesting. The other thing you don't want to do is put your bed directly under a window, because the energies can be disruptive to that deep sleep. So in generally speaking, put your bed against perhaps the biggest wall. And also don't put your bed directly in between a doorway or multiple doorways, because again, the energy will flow through the doorways and flow through you, increasing the chances of disruption during sleep.
Yeah, I would think that doorways, kind of in an involuntary way, would also be portals.
Yes.
So those portals, those energies saying, hey, there's a doorway, I'm just going to walk that way and run right into you, and unbeknownst to you, you're taking on some really strange energy. And then I was thinking about when you said I wouldn't sleep with your head under the window. Some people like the breeze, but I don't know, I just instantly thought, oh, a little gray could crawl in or crawl on my head. I get the wee jeebies when I think about sleeping under a window, even though the breeze is nice. Now, if you like the breeze, I guess you could always get a fan and put a fan up or something like that. So a lot of what I see here, I see information where certain directions just simply disrupt the body. The energetic experience of it can disrupt blood flow, disrupt the body. And when the body is not in harmony, you kind of open yourself up for other chaos, other different types of beings to say, hey, look, there's a leak over there, I'm gonna go latch onto it because that's how I survive. So I think this is really good advice. This is fun stuff, and this is stuff that I've found to be very helpful in my life, just the simplest of things.
And not all my life, like early adulthood and when I was a kid, I didn't really follow these things. And, one of the things I did, I remember back to one of my, multiple bedrooms I had as a kid, as we moved a lot of times I'd shove the bed into the corner and would just have a table on one side. You want balance, you want harmony, and you want it to be basically more centered. So a table on both sides is good. The room situation's important as well. You want space, you want flow. So if your bed is up off the ground, again, don't store things underneath it necessarily. That could block energy flow. Don't go to sleep with your phone right next to you or your tablet right next to you, especially very close. Like last night, Cindy was up. I handed her my phone, I think it was last night, and said, can you put this out, over there, in the next room. So, again, you want to get away from interruption of flow of energies. It's ideal also to not really have a TV going in the bedroom. That's one of the most disruptive things, falling asleep to the TV. However, a white noise machine might help. And so, as Cindy was saying, we like to keep airflow going. So we have a ceiling fan that we keep on. We also have an air purifier that goes and gives a light hum all night. So, that white noise does really help. I like that better than silence, particularly because of the dogs. If they hear something, and we have, deer and critters that go right by the window all night long, if they hear something like that, they're going to start barking, and that's going to wake us right up. But I've also noticed with the white noise going from the fan, the air purifier, the dogs sleep sounder, and they don't tend to notice as much. Typically, though, Rama sleeps right by our side, and Sita is the watchdog out in the living room watching everything. She just likes to have that position. So, you want a natural flow. Again, I wasn't going to go totally into sleeping positions, but are you a back sleeper, a stomach sleeper, a left side or right side? Each thing has its own pluses and minuses. In general, though, sleeping on the stomach is thought to be the least healthy. Sleeping on each side, left side has some positive aspects, right side has some positive aspects as well. And then if you are a back sleeper, which I tend to go back and forth between back sleep, I find it easier to fall asleep on my back, but sometimes in the middle of the night, I find it easier to get back to sleep after waking up on my side. And if you are a back sleeper, I would seriously recommend having a pillow under your legs that just puts you into a more comfortable position. If you're a side sleeper, a pillow between your knees, that also helps keep the spine straight and keep the energy flow. We always look at everything from an energetic standpoint, as that's what we are. We're energy workers. So energy is everything to us. If you are a stomach sleeper, it does have some disadvantages long-term in twisting the spine. Now, I had my nose broken several times as a kid and young adult. And so I have a deviated septum, so I find it very hard to sleep on my right side, although the right side's generally thought to be a little healthier than the left side. But it just, for my deviated septum, it's tougher for me to have energy flow through that condition. So here's 23 Feng Shui tips. I'm just going to, again, touch on some things that maybe we haven't said yet. Feng Shui is all about energy and flow, and again, even the lay of your land, even your positioning. Like if you, that's another thing I look at right away when we go and look at a property or think about moving somewhere. I'm always looking at the lay of the house. Where does the sun hit the house? And this house, I love the way it's situated. Because our workroom and everything is facing the east, and then the backyard is facing the west. It does make it down in the deep south for a very hot afternoon. But again, there is a natural order to energies, and we also have some very curious portals in this place. We had another portal opening and some entity that we caught on camera. Again, we've done that so many times here. So another thing, get rid of what you don't need. Clutter is not a good thing. And cleanliness is next to godliness. One thing I notice all the time, whenever Rama and Sita, Rama especially, tracks a lot of sand and dust in, because he's just an active dog. So we have to sweep every single day. And I notice, that psychologically, if it gets dusty in the house, it pulls me down energetically. I've recognized this over the years. Especially, there's nothing worse than clutter in a bedroom. That's going to make it so hard to get deep, restful sleep. So take a good look at your bedroom and see, is there anything that doesn't have to be there? If it is cluttered, and get rid of that clutter. Your bedroom is really the most important room, because that's where your soul kind of restores itself.
It's very important. That should be more like your temple, your place, where you put all the things that you love and make you feel at peace, because that's where you sleep. So making the bedroom, ours is like a temple. We have our layout there. We have our tapestries up. So our room is like a little mini temple. And we also have our place out here in the living room that, we do the things that we do every day. And those places are very important to direct intent and just kind of bring you back to your center and bring you back to who you are. And I wouldn't say we follow any one tradition at all. It's like, for me, I've gone through everything and I found all the things that I like and I agree with, and I created Cindy's religion, and it works for me. That's how I like it, and I appreciate it. And that when I need to be centered, I go to all the things that I have learned and that I understand to be true, and reground myself and recenter myself. So we have a couple places in the house where we're able to do that.
Yes, absolutely. Natural airflow, as you see number 2 there. Allow natural airflow. We have 2 doors that lead into the bedroom, and we have 1 window. So, the bed's away from that, because, again, we don't want to have the disruption of the energy there. This is touching on that under bed. Also, I wouldn't want to have a red bedroom.
No.
Red's too invigorating. Each color is a frequency. So a more neutral color in the bedroom is good. A blue or any shade of blue. You could always go with white or anything a little bit off, like a tan, etc. Greens, anything that is going to feel tranquil to you, peaceful. Again, colors, man, they really affect us. Firm wall in the back is a good thing. This is recommending not to decorate with mirrors in the bedroom also, because mirrors can be portals, and I'm not sure if it's going there, but absolutely they can be portals. It says here can trigger nightmares, insomnia. Yeah, recognize portals.
Portals you can usually feel. They're best closed. If you have one open, it's better to close it and leave it closed, especially if it's where you're sleeping. So those high traffic areas. But keep in mind, if you have a portal, there could be karma tied to closing it. So you got to kind of understand the layout. You need to understand like what's coming and going through there.
Yeah, we have 2 ozone machines which we've invested in, and one of them stays in the bedroom, and we'll run it. Cindy will just run it to purify the air in there. And it's not an air purifier ozone machine. It's a medical grade ozone machine, which we use ozone on a regular basis, again, to super oxygenate the body. And obviously you need fresh air. So a good scent would also help. Now we tend to put on peppermint, which can be a little invigorating, but we use it to clear passageways. So this is something I got into habit when the kids were young and always seeming to be sick after they got their ouchies. Again, that's a totally different subject, but peppermint, eucalyptus, and tea tree is a powerful combo of essential oils. But we'll put a little peppermint. It's good to get rid of a headache. It can clear nasal passages, and it's just peaceful. And then also when you start to equate scents and even colors to going to bed, that just kind of tells tells all the cells, now it's time to relax.
Definitely. Sleep hygiene. That's what I call it. You want to do all the things. If you're having trouble sleeping, then you should have a little checklist, and that's one of ours. And we love peppermint in the bedroom. If I get a headache in the middle of the night, I'll put it on my forehead, and I'll put it on the back of my neck, and I'll put it on the top of my head. And a lot of times that will get rid of a headache, but it's also very anti-inflammatory. It's great.
And the buggies don't like it too. So it'll help keep buggies out of the bedroom. Yeah. Appliances don't go in the bedroom. Light or neutral colored bedding as well. So besides even the colors of the walls, you don't want really bright sheets, because again, this can affect you. So stay for something mellow and more neutral. Dark is great, and distracting lights, we'd be so remiss. All those blue lights on things, all these different red lights on things, eliminate all those lights as much as possible. We originally were sleeping in a condition in which you didn't have all the street lights, and when I went and last time I visited my mom and I had to sleep in her living room on the pull-out couch, I couldn't get a lick of sleep because she was in a city and there were street lights everywhere. It's just impossible for me, and we never slept better. I never slept better than when we were in New Mexico in an earthen home that was literally about 2 feet sunk into the earth. That was it's almost like death. It was so amazingly peaceful. The sleep was so restorative. Again, you got to do the best with what you have and where you are, but room darkening shades for sure can be a benefit.
I remember that earthen home. Oh my gosh, the bedroom walls were made out of stone. They were like 12, 16 inches thick, and the stone surrounded you. And we had these candles up on the walls. So at nighttime, you light the candles, and it was just like being in one of those really fun castles in the movies. Oh, it was just majestic. It was amazing. I loved that. But yeah, the sleep there was like sleeping like the dead. I mean, to have everything unplugged, because there wasn't a lot of wiring running through it at all. The most wiring was probably the router, and we definitely unplugged that at night. So that was a great experience when you're able to get there outside with earth, even if it's brick and stone or whatever, you're going to have a much better experience sleeping.
Absolutely. So again, any sort of distracting lights, try to eliminate them as well. Cover them up if you have to. Tape them if you have to. And when we were living in the camper, that's what we did. We taped off lights in the camper because they had annoying lights on all the time. And like, gosh, whoever's making these designs, they don't have a clue about feng shui. Again, the bedroom should only be for nookie and sleep, and that's pretty much it. Don't work in the bedroom.
No.
That's not good, bringing in those energies. So, again, it's about making good habits. Here it's recommending, again, get rid of mirrors, deflecting energies, colors, as we were talking about, furniture without edges or corners. More rounder is good, absolutely. We talked about the head directions and the colors, away from the bathroom door. Don't sleep between a door and a window. And then electromagnetic pollution, absolutely. So I hope you guys got something out of this. Again, get in harmony with nature, and it could definitely benefit you, give you more restorative sleep, and boost that immune system.
Mm-hmm. And when you find the things that you love, you just know. You know when you know. Absolutely. These kitties are so darn cute.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. As always, we thank you for your support. Couldn't do it without you. Look forward to the comments. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.